Off to a good start then. Yes. Love a bit of deep sea. Hey! It's gotta be Liam Cunningham.
Prepare to launch nuclear weapons.
It is! Oh, and
The Firebird stands ready to serve.
For the motherland.
The motherland.
the motherland.
So American aggression gets more intolerable by the day. We must run the drill again.
Tomorrow.
Ooh, there we go, a bit of friction there. And I'm about to hear the TARDIS, aren't I?
What are you, Malaya Moya?
Don't do that.
Professor wants you thawed out back in Moscow, but life's too short to wait.
Wait. No. He seems familiar. Oh, is that Cyberman? He seems familiar as well.
You've still got sideways momentum. 600 meters.
Yeah, I've seen him in stuff before.
Now! You're gonna let this man give the order? Ladder on front!
Are we going to be okay?
Oh, yes.
Is that a lie?
Possibly. Very dangerous time, Clara. East and West standing on the brink of nuclear oblivion. Lots of itchy fingers on the button.
Whoa. How bizarre.
Drilling for oil in the ice, I thought I found a mammoth.
It's not a mammoth.
Kind of reminds me of The Thing.
It's an ice warrior. A native of the planet Mars. And we go way back.
Oh, is that right?
You've been lying dormant in the ice for how long? How long, Professor?
By my reckoning, 5,000 years.
5,000 years. That's a hell of a nap. Can't blame you if you got out on the wrong side of bed.
Skardak.
Skardak. Uh-oh. Doctor?
What did you say?
I am Grand Marshal Skardak.
Skaldak. God damn. I wish I had some subtitles right now. Of course.
You idiot.
Is he that dangerous?
This one is.
He used to do that look in Game of Thrones as well.
Find me, my brothers. If you are still out there.
Well, I'm sure they are. Beautiful photography. Look at this. Beautiful lighting as well.
Am I speaking Russian?
Yes,
Am I
it's
speaking
translated.
Russian?
Now, we have to do this now.
Are they speaking Russian?
Seriously, now.
Are they?
Yes, they're Russian.
Sir.
That's an order.
Dismissed. Stabbisham.
Hey. Manners.
I'm one of us and you harm us all. It's the ancient Martian code.
They wouldn't smell it on you, Doctor?
Just let me in there before it's too late. It can't be you or any of your men.
Well, it can't be you.
Ah, Clara.
Well, there really is only one choice. I don't smell of anything. To my knowledge.
You? No. No, no
That smile at
way.
first.
You're not going in there alone, Clara. Absolutely not.
He's trying to make it.
No, no, never.
Would love that. There is something else special about Clara, though, right? Maybe I'll get a bit of insight through Stardak? God damn it.
With your permission.
Be my guest.
The Onion Knight.
Do the salute like I showed you.
Okay.
Good.
Please, let us help you. You are not our enemy.
And yet, I am in chains.
Doctor, what do I say?
Yes, Doctor. What should she say?
I think he wants to speak to the organ grinder, not to the monkey.
I heard that.
Now my daughter will be dust. Only dust.
Maybe she could relate.
Just let me help you.
I require no help.
Now it's kind of reminding me of Alien. I was gonna say he seems familiar as well.
How did I do? Is that okay?
This wasn't a test, Clara.
I know, but
You were great, yeah.
really?
Really? He thinks he's been abandoned.
And now there's no more hope. That means,
He's got nothing left to lose.
right.
Rescue is unlikely. But we still have a mission to fulfill. If the Doctor is right, then we are all that stands between this creature and the destruction of the world.
It really is like the
Control
thing.
of one missile is all he needs.
Even if a missile did get launched, that wouldn't be it, would it?
It?
End of the world, game over. I mean,
It would only take one tiny spark.
yeah, but the world didn't end in 1983, did it? Or I wouldn't be here.
New. History's in flux. It can be changed. Rewritten.
Not everything though.
How many of us are left?
12, and we can find
A
Stevenson.
few AK-47s, Kalashnikovs.
Ah! You saved it!
No, it was on the floor with this.
Professor, I could kiss you.
If you insist.
Later.
I am hungry like the wolf.
I'm not singing.
Don't you know
She'll
it?
sing.
course I know
She'll
it.
sing. This is great set design. Really sells it.
Stay here. Stay here. Don't argue.
I'm not.
Right. Good.
So what's the matter?
Yeah.
Seeing those bodies back there. It's all got very
Dark.
real.
Yeah.
Ultravox, do they split up?
Funny. You're funny.
Yeah, and he's about to get grabbed. Hey, she's about to get grabbed.
Let her go!
Excellent tactical thinking. My congratulations, Captain.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, your position is not perhaps as strong as you might hope.
Oh, nice. The suit's gonna come. Yeah.
My world is dead, but now there will be a second red planet. Red with the blood of humanity.
5,000 years ago, Mars was the center of a vast empire, the jewel of this solar system. The people of Earth had only just begun to leave their
The
caves.
jewel.
I will blow this sub up before you can even reach that button, Grand Marshal. Blow us all to oblivion.
You would sacrifice yourself.
In a heartbeat.
Mutually assured destruction.
Look into my eyes, Skaldak.
Well, Doctor.
Ooh.
Which of us shall blink first?
Billions will die. Mothers, sons, fathers, daughters. Remember that last battle, Skaldak? Your daughter. You sang the songs.
Of the red snows.
No. I still aren't a single pulse from that ship. I'll destroy it if I have to.
Uh-oh.
I will destroy it if I have to. Chavez.
And I'm hungry like the wolf. Save the world, Ben.
Yeah?
That's what we do.
Look at this shot. Gloves, coats?
Well, never mind. It's bound to turn up somewhere. Ooh! See? Right on cue. The TARDIS is at the pole.
Not far then.
The South Pole.
Ah,
Ah,
Can we have a lift?
look at that. okay, let's get into it. Now, this is the next day because I did the recording for the episode a bit too late at night last night, so I'm getting to it now. But yeah, the episode itself, I thought that was really quite enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good old one and done, right? A standalone story. Of course, you've got the British men playing Russians and the whole, translation matrix making it possible. There's a really fun moment, Clara realizing this. Now, in terms of the cast, the guest cast, yes. I mean, a lot of familiar faces, so that certainly adds to the enjoyment, right? Almost immediately. Because the faces, the actors, Liam Cunningham. Who doesn't like Liam Cunningham, right? There's Tobias as well, of course, both from Game of Thrones, or I first heard about them or, saw them in Game of Thrones. And this is around the time Game of Thrones was airing, right? So they're essentially doing both of them, right? That's cool. It's just kind of cool to think about it. And of course, there's other familiar faces whose names I kind of forgot, but, I looked them up. Josh O'Connor, he's a big deal now, right? Big deal. Though maybe not used to his full potential in this episode. He was a youngster at the point. But James Norton, another one that, I've seen in different films. I really quite like him as well. There's actually a lot of cool things going on here, especially for the fans of The Crown, right? It's a show I do want to watch or check out at some point. But, you've got both Prince Philips, right? In the same episode. And you also have Prince Charles. Now, let's be honest, folks. Come on. But let's be honest here, folks. Josh O'Connor as Prince Charles, that's really quite generous. Even the one that was cast now as Prince Charles, again, I think it's really quite generous. I saw a lot of funny posts about that on Twitter, on social media. But let's move along. Yeah, the guest cast, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not difficult to get over the fact that they're English, but they are playing Russian. That's just one of those things. That's just one of those Doctor Who things, right? It's not. I've experienced that before, right, in the show. And also the Professor. See, that one, I know I've seen that actor at some point in something. I thought he was fantastic in this. One of the standouts in terms of the guest cast. I thought the relationship that he had with Clara, right, in the time they had, I thought it was really quite lovely, right? He really helped her settle into things or settle down, right? Kind of cope with these feelings. And, I thought Clara actually had a great focus in this episode. You see that for the first time, she is dealing with death, actual death, dead bodies, humans, right? It's a different experience. Things just got real. I almost said shit just got real, but I guess I said it anyways. Things, the gravitas of it all, it changes up and you see it. And I thought it was some great acting. Throughout the episode, she stuck on this idea of her performance and how she might have hindered all of it, right? She's kind of thinking about it over and over. Did I cause this? Did I cause this? She's essentially trying to convince herself, right? She'll be speaking out loud to the Professor and she'll be like, oh, it was out of my hands. I couldn't have done anything else. And she's right. She's right. She didn't cause any of this, right? But, that thought is there. That doubt was there. And then, of course, like I mentioned, the Professor did a great job of really helping her through this, right? Great chemistry there. Great duo there, for sure. He was quite the charming character, quite the standout character in this story, the Professor. I thought Liam Cunningham, a lot of his mannerisms really reminded me of the Onion Knight from Game of Thrones, Sir Davos, and even Tobias. I thought they had a great chemistry. Of course, the second in command, this hardcore loyalist, right? The butting of heads. I thought it made for some great on-screen moments for sure. Again, James Norton and Josh O'Connor specifically not used that much in this episode, but it was still really nice to see it nonetheless. I've said it, I sound like a broken record, but I love British actors and I love seeing young British actors show up in episodes of Doctor Who. And a lot of them go on to do some brilliant things, some great things. So yeah, you know, it's almost kind of like a tradition at this point, isn't it? It's like a staple. A lot of these up and coming actors coming through Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, right? And then, you know, on the flip side, you have a lot of old timers, experienced old heads that come through as well. And I love to see it. Love to see it. You know, I noticed that Liam Cunningham actually had a lot of similar mannerisms as his character from Game of Thrones. And I thought he had a great moment as he gave that speech to the rest of the crew, right? And made it pretty clear, you know, they are expendable, but their world is not. I thought it was a great moment. You know, essentially, I think he might have still had it covered, right? If the Doctor doesn't show up, if Clara and the Doctor don't show up, right? I think he still might have had it covered, right? Yes, they all might have died, but I feel like he still would have taken this Ice Warrior down at the same time. Now that is another exciting aspect of this episode. And it really sounds like, and it appears that this is a reintroduction of a classic Doctor Who character, given the Doctor's reaction to him, and that name specifically, right? He was quite rattled. I mean, rattled is a term that I can kind of use in this one quite a bit because, you know, again, Clara is quite rattled in this episode, throughout this episode, right? She has her big moment as well, of course, right? You know, pleading with the warrior to have compassion, right? The compassion moment. And, you know, yeah, I felt like maybe there could be a connection through, you know, the loss of his daughter, and, you know, Clara having that loss in her life as well, you know, having lost parents or a parent. Oh yeah, that's another question. How about her dad? Is he still around? They haven't mentioned it. So yeah, let's see if that plays any role, if he makes a cameo at some point. I quite like that actor, whoever he was, in that cold open, in the flashback. But the thing I really found interesting here is that it's essentially the same type of setup, same type of episode as that phenomenal episode actually from series 1, Dalek, right? For many of the older fans, it was a reintroduction of the Dalek. For me, it was the first time. Yet I knew, you know, later it was brought to my attention that this is the reintroduction, right? So yeah, it had a lot of similarities, right? The setup, the progression. I mean, you know, this episode had a great sense of escalating tension, you know, the logical progression of tension, the escalating stakes building to that grand finale. And of course, you know, a lot of it is facilitated by the fantastic setting. You know, as you know by now, I love this type of setting, you know, really dark and claustrophobic. But that setting also allows for really beautiful photography. And in this one specifically, there's some great use of shadow and light. If you ask me to make a list, I believe this is certainly going to be part of that list in terms of, you know, the best looking episodes. I really love the atmospheric tension of it all, right? And of course, you know, it takes a lot of inspiration from a lot of science fiction films. The Thing, Alien, of course, you know, really, really inspired by the Alien, especially once the warrior, you know, gets out of the suit, right? Then things get real, especially because the Doctor, you know, he was kind of really quite baffled by this because he tells Clara, you know, for one of these warriors to leave its suit, it's like the biggest taboo, something along those lines, right? Now, this has me thinking about the waters of Mars. You know, I kind of want to go back and check it out. Was there any mention of these warriors? I mean, they are from Mars, right? So maybe there is a mention of it. You know, I can't quite recall, but maybe I'll have to look it up. Scarlac, right? Or Scarlac, or one of those. I'm still not sure. Some of his motives or some of the logic, yeah, it's a bit iffy. It's a bit, you know, back and forth. You know, at one point he's ready to just blow it all to hell, right? He has nothing to live for. That makes him extremely dangerous. But then, you know, he does have that side, the compassionate side that you can kind of get to, right? And you see that a few times throughout the episode, right? The hesitation to kill the professor. And then, you know, Clara gets through to him as well. But, you know, this encounter actually brought up that notion of the Doctor having so much respect for these types of warriors, right? Immense respect even. You know, yes, maybe a bit of it out of fear, right? A bit of it out of knowing the things they're capable of. But the interesting thing is that he knows that he's a warrior himself and he hates himself for that, right? I mean, in his time, he's meant to be quite the warrior, right? He's done some things. He's done some things. Yet, you know, he has this self-loathing about that. I mean, he hates that about himself, I think. Yet he is able to respect other warriors. I just find it really quite fascinating, you know, that aspect of it. But, you know, going back to Clara, I love how she's not really treating these characters as NPCs. Her reactions to them are not that of someone that might be inconsequential, right? Yes, maybe in the long run, these limited appearance characters are inconsequential, but it didn't come across like that. You know, in the past eras, other companions, yeah, sometimes it felt like, you know, they're treating these characters like NPCs. A lot of this episode, you can see she's in her mind, really thinking it over, the connotations of all of it, of traveling with the Doctor. It's not all fun and games, right? To her, this felt like, okay, you know, I've seen dead people now, and these people have died in the same situation I'm in at the moment, right? So I think Clara really sells that here, or Jenna Coleman really sells that. And of course, there's a few other films that it takes inspiration from, right? The Hunt for Red October, K9 the Widowmaker, right? Das Boot, even. And, you know, once again, it's a case of the TARDIS taking the Doctor to the place he needs to be, rather than the place he wanted to go to, right? So that was great to see. Though, of course, the TARDIS is MIA, right? At the South Pole at this point. And, you know, I kind of forgot to mention, is there something going on here? You know, I kind of noticed in the last episode, I just thought it's because Clara didn't have the key, but, you know, the way she kind of pulled on the door, it made it seem like it should open. Is there a bit of hesitation there? Is the TARDIS kind of rejecting Clara? Maybe not rejecting, but is it a bit standoffish about Clara, this really special and unique person, right? So let's put a pin in that. Let's see if there's anything else in that. Okay, so I think that's about it for this one. You know, I thought it was a great little episode, really enjoyable. The time really flew by, and it was a 41-minute runtime as well, I think. But I can totally see this being one of those episodes that might be a hit and miss for many, right? I enjoyed it, right? I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying that, but I enjoyed it. It had some interesting political allegory as well. But yeah, I think that's about it. But, you know, to sign off, how about that brilliant line of dialogue, right? My world is dead. Right now, there's going to be a second red planet, red, with the blood of humans. Oof, that goes hard. That goes so hard, right? Oh yeah, that's the type of dialogue or line of dialogue you always remember. But yeah, you know, hopefully I see this character again. But yeah, that's about it for this one, folks. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, give me your thoughts. If you're interested in full length or early access, consider checking out the Patreon page. The links are in the description, in the pinned comment, and also links to social media, if that's your thing. Right then, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your time, because time is precious. And I do hope to see you again soon for the next one. Until then, take it easy.